Ladies and gentlemen, by now you should already know this. It is the year 2024. So, as tradition with this channel, I have to give you guys my top 10 predictions that I think will happen or may not happen involving Pokemon Go. So let's not waste any time. Let's get on with it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Troy for today's date is now Friday, January the 5th. So let's not waste any time. Let's get on with my top 10 predictions that I have for Pokemon Go for the year 2024. Let's start off with number 10. 10. Been around since I did that. It's actually been around since I've seen him. But let's move on with number 10. Okay, speaking of things that is pretty much a tradition nowadays, number 10 involved another tradition. So, I don't remember all the Pokemon off the top of my head. So, these are Pokemon that are not commonly found in the wild, but eventually they will come out and they will get their own shiny. And then, a year later, after their shiny makes their debut, they will get their own community day. So, what am I talking about here? So, for example, I believe Larvitar was on that list once upon a time. Shinx was on that list once upon a time. I believe not Garchomp, but the pre-evolution form of Garchomp was on there. Gibble was on there once upon a time. Yeah, that's what it's called. And we just saw half of the tradition last year with Gumi. As I predicted, shiny Gumi was gonna come in Pokemon Go last year. Now I got that correct. What's gonna happen with Gumi this year? Come on now. We're gonna get a Gumi community day. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point. So that's why it's number 10. And before we get things rolling with my list, I want to point out that my list is going from most obvious, number 10, to least obvious, number 1. So that's how we're doing it. And that's why this is number 10 on the list, because it follows a tradition that's been going on with the game for a while now. So Gumi had his shiny debut last year, Go Fest. This year is going to get the community day treatment. So, which brings up an interesting question. If that's happening this year where Gumi is going to get his community day, then what would be that rare Pokemon that will get a shiny? Let's move on to number 9. Number 9, we sticking with the tradition. So here's where things get interesting, because then we have to look and see what Pokemon is in the game right now that is kind of rare and don't have his shiny in the game. And there's one Pokemon that comes to mind. There might be others like that, but I don't think there's a lot at this moment. But there's one that comes to mind, and that is this. Jangmo-O. So yes, I truly believe that Jangmo-O will get its shiny release this year, possibly at Go Fest. So that's what I'm expecting to happen. That's my number 9 prediction for this list. So the tradition will continue on, and then next year we're gonna get a Jangmo-O community day. So I'm expecting that to happen this year and the community day part next year. Now, with the easy stuff out the way, let's get into a little bit more of a difficult territory here. Let's get on to number 8. Number 8, I had to do research on number 8. And here's the thing. And actually, I look at my badges, and there's about like 43 Mega Evolutions in the game. Mega Evolved Pokemon in the game. You know, like Mega Charizard, X and Y, Blastoise, Mega Venusaur, all the way down to the likes of Mega Deontay, Mega Salamence, Mega Medicham, Mega Garchomp, and others. There's 10 left. And the 10 are Mega Mewtwo X and Y, Mega Marau, Mega Sharpedo, Mega Heracross, Mega Camera, Mega Ardino, Mega Galade, Mega Lucario, Mega Metagross. And that's it, unless this but first of all, this website was way off because it listed 11, which is Mega Gromchop. That's already in the game. So that's all, unless they missing something. But as far as this website concerned, and you do your common sense, there's 10 Mega Evolution Pokemon or Mega Evolved Pokemon that's not in the game yet. And because of how Niantic like to take their time with certain stuff and extremely stall with a number of things, for good reason, but they still stall certain things and certain features and with certain Pokemon with certain shinies, things of that nature. Number 10, or not number 10, see the number 10 stuck in my head now. Number 8, we are only going to get 2 Mega Pokemon that will make their debut this year. So yeah, if they were to drop 4 or 5, then they're almost done. They're almost done bringing in all the Megas into the game. I mean, heck, they even got Mega Rayquaza in the game and the Primals. You know, Kyogre and Groudon in the game already. So it's like, they're almost done as is. But if they were to bring out 4 or 5 new Mega Evolved Pokemon into the game, They almost done. And that's bad for them because that's one of the scenarios where if they bring all the Pokemon into the game, if they release all the shinies in the game, if they put everything that is Pokemon into the game, then that give people a big opportunity to complete the game pretty much. Get all the shinies, get all the megas, get all of this, get all of that. And then what happens when you get everything involving Pokemon, assuming that they're not making new Pokemon, they stop playing the game. And that's not what Niantic wants, and that's actually bad for the game. So that's why they taking the time when it comes to releasing certain things, and they stalling and things of that nature. So that's why not every single Pokemon from Generation 1 all the way up to Generation, what is this, like 9, 10, they're not in the game yet. And some generations were even skipped over. So for them with the Mega Pokemon, Mega Evolved Pokemon, they're only going to have 2. If they even do less than 2, I wouldn't be shocked either. But they will not do more than 2. They will not do more than 2. So that's my number 8 prediction. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7, and sticking with the whole let's not release everything so soon theory that I have in mind, that applies here to my number 7 prediction, and that is this. For those of you, Mystic 7, who want to see certain Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet into this game, it's not going to happen. Not this year. What am I talking about? No Paradox Pokemon. That's right. Throughout 2024, we will not get Paradox Pokemon at all. Now, we may get Pokemon that were originated in Scarlet and Violet this year. I believe we had some last year already, but none of them will be Paradox Pokemon. And it could be because of 2 reasons. One, they want to stall, like I said, or 2, because Paradox Pokemon are pretty much time-traveling knockoffs of Pokemon that already exist. So, for example, what is it? Iron Hands is basically a Hariyama knockoff, and then Iron Thorns is basically a Tyranitar knockoff. Like, there's a knockoff for Jigglypuff, there's a knockoff for Galade, and so forth and whatnot. So, that's what Paradox means. Now, some of those are like time-traveling Pokemon, whether it's from the past or from the future. But Paradox Pokemon are time-traveling Pokemon that made their debuts in Scarlet and Violet, but we will not see them in Pokemon Go this year. Next year, maybe. This year, no. All right. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6. Now we're going to go from Pokemon that we won't see to Pokemon that we will see. And you remember earlier in this video, I talked about how they skipped over some generations and things of that nature. Well, this year, I believe that they're going to address some of that. So, number 6, I think we're going to see more Galar region Pokemon because the starter's not even here yet. Never mind them getting a community day. Never mind them, their shinies not in the game. The starter's not even in the game yet. So, I'm not saying the starters will come out this year, but I will believe that we will get more Galar region Pokemon in the game this year. So, that's my number 6 prediction. Let's go to number 5. Number 5, this was actually a prediction that I made last year. If I would have flip-flopped it with another one that I made this year, I would have got it right. But instead, I got it wrong. So, what am I talking about? We're going back to the Megas. Now, I said that no more than 2 Mega Evolved Pokemon will be making their debuts this year. One of those Pokemon that will make its debut, and it could be the only one, Mega Lucario. I mean, we've seen it on the poster for many, many years now. I said it was going to come out last year, and then I said we would not get Mega Lucario last year. I should have flip-flopped those last year, but it's happening this year. There's no way they're going to leave it out this way. I just can't see it. There's no way. I just can't see it. So, I know we see Mega, what is it, Mewtwo Y on the poster. I think we've seen X as well. We might have seen both, but I think they're going to push that back for one more year. But this year is Mega Lucario. Because I know there's some fighting types in there already, like Lopunny and Medicham. But, like, Medicham is good for PvP. Lopunny just cute, that's it. But they don't have much play in rating. Lucario got some play in rating. And Mega Lucario will boost it up there. So, I think Mega Lucario will make its Pokemon Go debut. It would be one of the 2 Mega Evolved Pokemon, assuming that there is 2, because it could be just one, it could be the only one, but Mega Lucario is happening this year. I don't have any proof or evidence, or nobody told me anything, that's just a prediction. Now, let's move on to number 4. Number 4, this is gonna be funny. This is actually gonna be funny. Some of you guys located from a certain state in the United States, y'all not gonna like this. Now, again, I have not been told anything. Nobody informed me of anything. Again, these are all predictions. But well, I ain't gonna talk about what I was doing last year, but what I will say is this year, there will not be any orange and blue skies this year. No orange and blue skies this year. That's my prediction. So what am I talking about? North America's Go Fest will not be in New York. That's my number 4 prediction. Obviously, the rumors are that they were gonna get it again this year. I haven't even seen anything. This is just what I've been hearing. I haven't seen anybody post anything on Twitter. I haven't seen any evidence of this at all at the moment in time. So I'm gonna make a bold prediction here and go against the rumors and say that Go Fest in North America will not be in New York. No orange and blue skies this year. So yeah, some of you guys like Squid, Math, Akakitty, Mrs. Mime, and Captain Whatever, and Will Rock, and Omnisec, and a number of you guys from New York will probably be upset with me with this prediction. But I'm rolling with it. It's a bold prediction. I'm rolling with it. Alright, let's move on to number 3. Number 3. Here's the thing. We've seen events where certain Pokemon are featured because those Pokemon you normally don't get in the wild, and their shinies are already in the game. So for example, one such Pokemon that you could say is including that is Gibble. Okay, that was I think it was it was a rare spawn, so that's not a good example. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but one Pokemon that I think will get an event because it have not spawned in the wild at all. But it's about time we get this, especially with Worlds being in Hawaii this year. Number 3, there would be some type of event. I don't know what it is, but there would be some type of event that will feature Alolan Raichu. Yes, Alolan Raichu been in the game for a long time. It's shiny been in the game for a long time, but you can only get this from completing raids whenever it's a raid boss. And at the exact moment, you can't get it. At the exact moment in time in Pokemon Go, you cannot get Alolan Raichu. So, and I can't recall the last time it was a raid boss. So, that needs to change. I think there's going to be some type of event where Alolan Raichu will be featured. It could be around Worlds, where it could be spawning at Worlds, or the World Championship event that everybody get. It could be spawning for all throughout the world during that time. I don't know what the event is, but I truly believe that Alolan Raichu will be spawning in the wild. And yes, you can't get that shiny because his shiny is already in the game. So that's my number 3 prediction. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, I highly doubt Mr. 7 watches my videos, but I think he may like my number 2 prediction if he was to see it. And that would be this. Now, we talked about this last year. He talked about it. I talked about it. The Training Club talked about it. And there probably a few other content creators that talked about this already. And that is this. They introduced the City Safari events, and so far we had 3 of them. And at the moment, a 4th one is announced. But even though, so here's the thing about the City Safari event. There were rumors that came out last year about 3 more that's coming out this year. I don't remember where the other 2 are, but one of them is in Taiwan. That's the one that been announced. That was rumored. Now that one's official. The other one, I think it was in Barcelona, and another one's in not Hawaii, but in Australia. And I'll talk about that one in a second. Well, the Taiwan one is official. The rumor for that one is true. We haven't heard anything about the other 2, and not to mention that there's no City Safaris events that are currently announced after the Taiwan one. Where am I getting at here? I think Safari Zone will return this year. Yeah, that's my number 2 prediction. I think Safari Zone will return this year. Why did I say that? Because obviously it's Safari Zones and City Safari, they're 2 different things. City Safari, you can play it all around that city, while Safari Zone is like specific at one exact location within that city. And remember what they said in the article, and I reacted to the article, and that was this. At the time, which was sometime last year, their main focus were on City Safari. They didn't say that the Safari Zone would go away. They just said that their main focus at the time was on the City Safari. If that was the case, we should have been told of more City Safari events, like one in April and one in May. So far, nothing. We heard nothing about any more City Safari events outside the one in March, which is going to be in Taiwan. So that, and the combination with the article, what they said in the article, that they focus it on City Safaris, lead me to believe that much later this year, maybe November, Safari Zone will return, and I think it's going to be in Australia. I'm hoping anyway, so I can have more money prepared for that trip, which I will talk about in another video. And speaking of this right here, let's get on to my number one prediction. Number one, this is something that I kind of been wishing for a long time now. Because here's the thing. Outside from gyms, in terms of taking over gyms and defending gyms, which they've done absolutely nothing for the longest of time. Like, yeah, they made some changes with raids, which are done at these gyms. But in terms of like defending gyms and taking over gyms, they done nothing to those. But there's another feature in the game that they done nothing to for the longest of time. And based on something that happened recently, I can't say what it is, but based on something that happened recently, I truly believe at some point this year, I believe I said this last year as well, and I got it wrong. I said something like this last year. I'm gonna say it again this year. There's gonna be, well, but it's slightly different rather. There's going to be some type of PvP change. So they're gonna make some type of change. They're gonna update the current PvP system. They're gonna do something. It may or may not affect worlds, but I truly believe that they're gonna do something to the PvP system because it's not good. It's really, really not good. It doesn't hold up to other PvP systems that other games have. It really, really don't. It's laggy. It's like outdated. It needs a change. It needs a rework. And I think it's gonna happen this year. So that's my number one prediction. So there you go with that. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comment section below. If you reach this part of the video, rather, leave in the comment section predictions and just leave me your predictions. Like what you think's gonna happen and tell me why. Don't just say what you think gonna happen and say nothing, then I won't believe you. But tell me why. Like what feelings do you have? Like what evidence have you seen? What have you heard that make you think, oh, this is gonna happen, whatever the case may be. So there you go with that. And if you reach the part of the video, or not reach the part of the video, if you reach the ending, you're gonna see two cards. One of them will be something that I recommend. The other one will be something that YouTube recommend. Check both of those out. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get up to 2,000 subscribers so we can do that giveaway. And yeah, I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is my new J Gatsby, aka New Stupid Smith. Saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Blue is the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they ranking with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show them that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.